the new Parkway Theater, where good food, diverse entertainment, and community create a place for everyone. For showtimes and special events, check out www.thenewparkway.com. You are listening to High Score 510, where real talk is our vernacular.
Here's the crazy thing about the Crate Challenge. This shows me that the world does, and the universe does have karma, right? And that if you're stupid enough to go on a crate, you're gonna get some results that equal to match your stupidity.
This is not it's not intelligent to do this.
And that's okay.
This is some crackhead shit, bro. The first one I saw was some crackhead dude. OG looking like a crackhead was doing it, and there was a couple crackheads who were doing it. They were laughing because they kept falling, but they was paying them to do it. And then it turned into like a whole thing where it's like all the young people were like, "Oh, it's clout chasing time now," or "Oh, let's have some fun with it." And I'm like, it's people of all ages, but it's predominantly a lot of young people doing stupid shit just to injure themselves. I just don't get it. It don't make no sense. Like, you gonna go smoke crack next? You smoke crack, don't you? It's like, damn. It's like, why are we out here appropriating crackhead culture? Like, I thought this was 2021. Cultural appropriation needs to end. It needs to stop with the Crate Challenge also. Look at me, boy! Don't you smoke crack! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the High Score 510 podcast. You can catch us at High Score 510 on the Instagram, the YouTube, and the Twitter, and on our Patreon page. Sign up. We are doing a giveaway to all our patrons. We have some nice merch coming out, so y'all keep an eye out for that. Anybody who signs up before the end of September, you will get one of our free High Score 510 specialty custom. Hey, should I say what it is? No, I don't say what it is.
I'm worried it might be something that's probably money you giving away.
Yeah, I'm probably giving away. I might be giving away a copy of White Dog also. Be sure to check us out at patreon.com/highscore510 and sign up and just, look at our library of content that is too hot for our regular show and our bonus conversations. Aside from that, we are here with...
This is Aaron Grayson, also known as AG3, coming at you faster than American Plan Premier League Fantasy and trying to understand the rules and keep asking people the rules. Premier League Fantasy Soccer. Need help with the rules. Don't understand how my goalie could get a shutout and they get 6 points each. And I got another defender whose team got a shutout. He got 1 point. Not understanding the shit.
I'm a Southern black woman who stands in the long shadow of the civil rights movement. Southern hip-hop helped me navigate the contemporary Black South. When I gathered with friends, Southern hip-hop was the soundtrack. When I grieved my father, Southern hip-hop was my comfort.
I know we give the reader flack, but the writer deserves some flack too on that. I mean, like this is a grandma in Southern hip-hop. It's bullshit, man. That's some bad writing, dude.
I don't know if it's bad writing as much as it's not meant to be an audio book.
It's bad. That book is bad, man. It sounds bad. But you know what? Send me the title of that book. I'll read it.
It is an article expose on Fireside Magazine.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah.
What was the name of the article?
Fireside Magazine presents The Art of Speculating by Regina N. Bradley, edited by Maurice Broadus, narrated by Kevin Renier.
Oh man!
So do I use a D or do I use a DA for the? I don't know.
The art.
It's your boy Chatana.
Speculating.
Oh my God!
I actually think it is DA.
DA.
D apostrophe ART. The art of speculation.
I think so.
I know the reader's bad, but this is already telling you that it's bad writing.
Come on.
She wrote Negro text.
She was writing an article for everyone to read in their own minds, voice.
Yeah, but the words
to hear her story. I think, yeah. Anyway,
I'm reading the article right now. It's bad. It's Regina and Bradley, the writer. I mean, it's just good luck with your writing future. I'm not gonna hate on that, but we got some work to do.
And we are here with
Everybody's favorite captain, and also everybody's favorite truck driver, Captain People, coming at you faster than this leak in front of my house.
all right, here's your soundbite.
It dawned on me that Southern hip-hop was the blueprint for understanding Black Southernness in the post-civil rights era. Specifically, I found myself doing deeper and deeper dives into the music catalog of Outkast, those two funketeers from Atlanta, who offered innovative and dynamic musical redressing to the question of where and how the Black South positions itself in American culture. Outkast, comprised of members of Antoine Big Boy Patton and Andre 3000 Benjamin.
Are we going back to this sound? Are we going back to the sound bite because it's the 25th anniversary of AT Aliens?
She's an associate professor of English and African Studies. It sounds like she really loves Outkast because she's founder of something called Outkastic Conversations. Which is featured.
Maybe it's one of those things where it caught on when she was younger, and she's been riding it out, talking about that.
Well,
like, that's her thing.
It seems like it means a lot to her, and it's understandable.
Yeah.
But it didn't work well, as There's many short stories that became movies, that became bigger books, that made authors famous.
Well, this is on Fireside Magazine, and it was one of their 2020 highlights. They had Kevin Rainier, who's like probably a tech looking dude, trying to read older Black woman's.
I'm not trying to take away from his blackface and or black reading, whatever you want to call it. His in blackface reading of that. I'm not trying to take away, but I don't want that to take away that she graduated with the BA in English. I'm not understanding.
It's the vernacular.
In Southern English.
No. She graduated in Albany State University. She also got degree PhD University of Bloomington, Indiana. That's the University of Indiana, and African American literature, Florida State. She's really well knowledge. Seems very smart. She has a book called The Rise, Chronicling Fakeonia, The Rise of the Hip Hop South. It seems like it really interests her.
Well, this is her article. I think it was like an editorial, I got
the article right here.
It's an opinion.
I got the article right here. It's a story.
Yeah,
it's a story. It's a short story.
It's a short story of her experience. It's not a fiction creative story that's supposed to.
Oh, so you're saying she might not in the story? She might not be a grandma. He might have just spoke like he was an old Southern grandma. You know what? After reading a little bit of it, I think you are right about that. He just totally screwed up her.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're supposed to read it and you put your understanding of what this person should sound like to you, and it'll make sense more. So versus them putting it in a tangible form that just does not work.
I stand corrected, everybody. I was wrong. I'm reading the article. She wrote the article for her point of view.
Yeah.
Who the hell?
Exactly. Remember how everyone read Rue from Hunger Games to be whatever they thought, and hella white people thought Rue was not a Black girl.
even though every clue in the book.
Yeah, but everyone loved Rue because they read it to what they can connect with to that character.
I don't know how you didn't think anyone from that part was the South. Everything in the book led to her.
I heard Rue was out there talking about,
I'm a Southern Black woman who stands in the long shadow of the civil rights movement.
And my name is DJartt, aka DJartt with 2 T's for a double dose of that tink tink. The D is silent, so it's just Jartt.
Outkast's music pushes the limits of Southernness and its proximity to Black cultural experience. Rather than considering the South's relationship to the future as oxymoronic, Outkast fuses possibilities of the future together, like grits and eggs, collard greens and fatback, Martin Luther King and the mountain top.
Hold on, Jared. Let me find that part of the article, man. Hold on, dude.
So we are revisiting this because it's the 25th anniversary of AT Aliens, right?
Yeah,
I just want to confirm that.
Well, that came out. Yeah, I hope that's the reason. I'm reading this, and not one part of any part that he read is there an exclamation point.
Collard greens and fatback.
I'm trying to find the word fatbacks. I see everything else, and then
what do Southern colored people eat?
like grits and eggs and fatback.
No, there were commas in those words. Commas. Fatback had a comma after it. Comma, Martin Luther King in the mountaintop. It was a comma. None of those had exclamation points. It doesn't read with collard greens and fatback. I take back everything I said. You know what, Regina and Bradley, you seem very smart. I like how you went out and got your education. I like how you connect in the South to people. I like how you went. You keep doing your thing. Just talk to whoever did this and got that idiot to read it. He don't know how to use. You heard how I read it. I read it how it's supposed to be read, with commas, not exclamation points. He's reading it like it's some Southern Black woman, old Southern Black woman. Oh, child. Oh, look like it's about to rain today. You know, they said that Hurricane Irma going to hit New Orleans. You know, we gonna get a little drip of it too. Oh, child, get them clothes in. I told you, get them clothes in. My knees was knocking this morning. I told you, get them clothes in.
And hang up that phone. You know it's lightning coming.
Exactly.
Well, everyone doing well today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sugar was high today, but I'm okay.
You drink some water, do some exercise, Pedro?
Oh, shoot, I can't. Everything snap, crackles, and pops. It's hard for me to get down on the floor to do anything.
That's not how Pedro lower his sugar.
How's he lower his sugar?
By making pancakes.
I had to get moving. Yeah, it's exercise.
I was whipping them up, man. That's a lot of exercise to whip them up.
Whisk them up,
Put
baby.
blueberries in them, though.
And that fiber is good for diabetics.
Blueberry pancakes. That's the code word. Shout out to Hood Slam sponsorship. Blueberry pancakes. That's when you know the police are there. Shout out. In news this week, an aggressive passenger was seen at the Miami airport, angry about not being let on the plane. He was threatening, screaming, knocking things over. Here's a video of the incident.
Wow, he's actually calling people.
Yeah.
Wow. Where's the police? Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was at an American.
Where is the police?
Dude, where is the police? It was on American Airlines.
That wasn't like a short burst. That was like an outrage for a while.
Yeah, apparently this man was a Marine. He was detained later on and taken to a hospital for evaluation. But it leads into a bigger story. A couple of weeks ago, we had the people on what airline was it, Frontier or whatever, duct taped a rowdy.
It's been a couple of airlines since then.
Yeah, has duct taped a passenger to the seat for the rest of the flight because he assaulted and groped a couple of female flight attendants. But apparently, the FAA is reporting is that the numbers have gone up immensely with unruly and aggressive passenger behavior. The FAA reported that nationwide in 2019, there were 150 recorded incidents of unruly behavior. In 2021, there have already been 3,800 reported incidents. What do you guys think about that? What could be causing that?
The vaccine.
Come on.
Everybody took that Johnson
No,
Johnson.
Tuesday. You trying to tell me that dude looked like he was vaccinated coming from Miami.
Pie like the white man wants to keep us?
I just got that. He said hi like the white man would keep us, and he was the guy that smoked all the weed on the show on the movie. Hi like the white man would keep us. That's pretty hilarious.
Well, yeah, man. And remember last year we had talked about how there was a spike in TSA had found 3 times the normal rate of like guns at checkpoints, despite the air traffic being so much less. Like nobody was flying in 2020, yet they found triple the amount of, guns. It's going down at the airports recently. So yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Well, they had the guns. They were trying to transport the guns, get away with this stuff, so they can defend themselves against the vaccine. This is coming from being you're gonna see that you see this in stadiums now, where you got people fighting.
And people always fought stadiums.
It's not the normal. You always see Raider fans fighting.
No.
That's
I know. I always saw Raider fans get a bad rash. No, I've always
fans
seen
are the worst.
49er fans fight. Jared tell you the old candlestick, it was dangerous. Raider game, I've never felt uncomfortable at a Raider game. I felt uncomfortable at Niner games all the time. Raiders get a bad rap. They just act crazy. They act crazy. They yell, but they only fight if you do something beyond to them. They're more nice. I showed up with Duck in the Raider section with Green Bay Packers stuff on. Nothing happened. As long as you don't say nothing, they might say something back about you losing or whatever, but nothing. No, 49er fans were way worse.
All Raider fans have a cup of beer and a cup of urine.
It's way better than Niner fans.
Well, yeah, Niners fans were stabbing people.
Exactly. Stabbing is worse. Niner fans.
Do they have a jail in their facility? Like the Eagle Stadium?
No, Eagle fans are bad too. So a Buffalo.
Eagle fans are the worst.
Eagle fans
Buffalo. Because that's the only thing they can do is fight.
And they get it out, but they usually get it all out in the parking lot, and they be fighting them tables.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
They get a lot of the aggression out. They still do some fights. It's
some regular fights. Buffalo had irregular sex toys thrown out on the field. So Buffalo,
I don't know if they was irregular. They look pretty regular to me, Pedro. But I feel where you're coming from, Pedro. It is, I think, coming off this pandemic, a lot of anxiety out there. There's a lot going on. People are worried. People taking guns on plane. People getting mad when shit happens and they can't get on a plane. And I can see where frustration builds up, especially there's not as many flights because of so few people flying. I'm
not sure what it is that's causing people to go crazy. But I do agree. I think it probably has something to do with people's mental states and, the shock of being going into quarantine and having their whole routines broken up. And I think people are already mentally fragile. People are already mentally fragile, especially these new generations. They're more mentally fragile in general. Self-esteem being so important.
That didn't look like a new generation. That looked like people around our age here.
He was in his 30s.
Oh, that dude, they said he's former military, and they were checking him out for having like a mental, having some mental, health issues. The guy at the airport. But people just
okay.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about people. I'm talking about people in general, acting out more. And I don't know if it's not just the younger generation, but as we've been, going, I think parts of our resilience have been kind of weaned out of us, or we've made it, with participation trophies, with everyone always having to be included somehow, and the equal representation, which are, some really positive things. I think we're also losing certain practices or opportunities for people to practice, personal, mental, social resilience.
Yes.
And so I think that right now we're at a really, unique time where our personal and social cultural resilience is being tested in a way that we're seeing a lot of these outbursts and examples of extreme behavior by a lot of people, because we have a lot of people that live here, but a lot of people are, acting out because they haven't been able to reconcile or, manifest that resilience they need to be able to just, deal with things not being the right way, deal with your mental state being challenged, and then not having that breaking point come so quickly or easily. I hate going on flights because I'm stressed out about going through TSA ever since 20-year anniversary coming up of 9/11. Like flying is an arduous task. That's a whole day process damn near every time. You know what I'm saying? So, when I get on a plane, I'm just trying to get in, get out, get done with it so I can get to where I want to go as quickly as possible without any hiccups. And some people, for some reason, are struggling with that. Now, I'm not certain. It's their different ways of coping, but yeah, I think we need to, as a society, build up our cultural and social resilience, our individual resilience, and just how to just get along, bruh. Like you on a flight, you about to go on a flight somewhere, you must have somewhere to go. Don't fuck it up. You fuck it up for everybody else too. Sha'Carri Richardson got a chance to prove her doubters wrong after testing positive for marijuana. Here's the race she had at the Prefontaine Classic, where she got to race multiple other Olympians, in particular the 3 Jamaican women who, I believe, did they sweep the first 3 spots in the 100 meters?
No, you might be right. I think they might have swept the 100. You might be right.
She got to race against 3 Jamaican women, and this is what happened.
Women's 100. And a good start for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. Thompson, hurrah! Richardson being left behind, and out in front, the Olympic champion does it again.
10.54.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I thought you was gonna play an interview, but
we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, yeah. So looks like she was behind, right?
Yep.
Was she the last person in that race?
She was the last person. I think we focused too much on the 3 Jamaican women who swept a medals in the Olympics. Let's focus on everybody else that was in that race. They smoked her too. It's 9 lanes on the track. It's 9 lanes.
Was that 2 white women that smoked her?
It's 9 lanes on the track. So we're talking about 5 other people smoked her outside of the top 3.
She got smoked. And the issue is like, it's like a car analogy. You got like a V8 or you got like what's like a smaller engine that ain't got a lot of power, Pedro?
1.5 turbo or whatever Aaron drives.
Yeah, you got 1.5 turbo, whatever Aaron drives. And like in any car, you could take off and feel that jump, right? And like you can get going. But then there's other cars that where they can keep going, right? And that's really what this race looked like to me. Like from the jump, like Sha'Carri got out there and she got in her 1.5 cylinder, and then boom, right here she hits it, and it's like, oh, the other cars got that extra cylinders, and they just kept going and going and just took off.
There's no replacement for displacement, and she didn't have any displacement. She had no girth. She just smoked all the speed out of herself.
You know who I felt bad for watching this? I felt bad for everybody who felt bad for her when that happened. Remember, I was the person that said, I didn't care that happened to her. She broke the rule. She know the rules. Everyone's, oh man, this rule is bad.
Aaron was 100%.
How's this? And I said, man, that's an excuse. She knows the rules. Every runner out there knows what they can put in their body, what they can't. She knew she couldn't smoke weed. Talk shit, and everybody got behind her. She still had commercials even after all this shit. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe this. I feel sorry for everybody who trusted her.
Hey, well, look, everybody wants a hero story. And I don't know when we started wanting losers or normal people just to be our true Black leaders. I don't get it. We got to the point where our sympathy for people that are doing wrong has, I guess, we just feel like Aaron said. Aaron's perfect on this. It's like, I don't know why people feeling sorry for her. She did. I'm pretty sure half the females probably, the females from Jamaica probably doing steroids. They made sure the test was
Make sure
clean.
they didn't get caught. Exactly. I like the part of the interview when all the other girls that ran the race, those weren't even the ones that finished top, but just smiling at her.
Smiling at her.
Look, I'm sure there's other track athletes that smoke weed. I'm sure there are, right? But you know when you can, just like football players. They know when they can smoke weed, they know when they can't. Ricky Williams always said, I got caught. I didn't get caught till I went to my second team because their testing day was different.
Yeah, I don't know. We okay with mediocre. And I think that's how Black people got caught as slaves. Somebody was like, damn. Somebody was like, hey, that white dude was okay. You should bring him back to the tribe. He came back to the tribe with a whole lot of white folks with gunpowder.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Here's the interview.
He didn't run like the Native Americans did, according to Herschel Walker.
Come on. I feel as though she was a phenomenon for the summer. We're talking about the mental resilience of society. A lot of that is being given up for social media and clout chasing and ways of just getting, free attention unnecessarily. And I'm not saying that Sha'Carri Richardson doesn't have merits and that she's not talented. What I am saying is that, yeah, she won the 100 meters, and it proved that this year's U.S. track team was subpar and below expectation in general. So did she really beat anybody? Like, yeah, we have a lot of good athletes. We have a lot of good runners here. But in this cohort of people, was she really beating like any generational talents? And if she wasn't, then is she really a generational talent? Now, this is what she had to say after her race.
This is one race. I'm not done. You know what I'm capable of. Count me out if you want to. Talk all the shit you want, because I'm here to stay. I'm not done. I'm the 6th fastest woman in this game ever. And can't nobody ever take that from me.
I just want to tell you. I just want
in that race.
Yeah.
How the hell was she the 6th fastest?
And she lost all. Yeah. Look, I just want to tell you, I'm the 28,000.
She don't know how to count either.
I'm the 28,000 best truck driver in America. Okay?
Can nobody take that from you ever?
Can nobody take that from me?
I just want people to know I'm the 6th fastest runner in my family.
I do want to say another thing. One big thing that made her big and like made her viral, and people were like, "Oh my God!" Like she had orange hair. Her hair was out, orange hair. Here she got her hair blonde. Not saying the color change is the issue. My real issue is physics. My beautiful black queen, if you are going to run with your hair not buttoned up and just flowing, and you got a lot of that shit, this thing called drag. This thing called weight. This thing called you are not aerodynamic anymore. You are going to slow yourself down literally as your hair plumes behind you. So, Sha'Carri, if anything, it is maybe a miscalculation of you not thinking that physics wins out. And if you running with all that hair dragging behind you, you ain't gonna get that extra couple milliseconds you might need. Now in this case,
I would have said that, but she was way more than milliseconds behind.
That's what I'm saying. In this case, you might need a couple seconds.
Well, I would have said that, but them Jamaicans had just as much weave in their hair.
Yeah, yeah. The one that the first had just as much.
But if you look at it,
it's tied up.
It's tied up.
Yeah, it is tied up. Yeah.
And I don't
know
know.
what? You know what? She could have been bald in this race, Jared. She still would have got smoked. You know what? Maybe her eyelashes created too much drag, Jared.
Either that or her nails.
Like eyelashes.
I don't know if it was eyelashes or nails. Something.
Man, Florence Griffith had mad long nails to smoke there, but the girl ain't good, man. Let's stop making an excuse for her. We made an excuse for her because she smoked weed because her birth mother died. Now, don't forget, before the whole thing about the race it was all about the person who raised her, not her birth mother. Like she barely knew her or something. Now all of a sudden she fails a test and she talking about, oh, I smoked weed because I found out my birth mother died. No, you smoked weed because you wanted to get high. You know, you hung around Box Kev. You was hanging around Box Kev. You got the anti-gravity in your system.
Shout out sponsorship.
You didn't want to come down. That's why you smoke weed. All of a sudden, she get caught smoking weed. It's about her birth mother dying, who she just talked about not having a relationship with. She just excuse after excuse after excuse. You know, it's just all about excuses with her, man. It's all about excuses with her. We sat here and we got behind her. People said, oh, is this rule racism? This rule got to be racist. Yeah, even though the rule was out years ago, it's got to be racist, right? It's affecting black people. No, it affected everybody that smoked weed and wanted to do the Olympics. They're like, man, smoking doesn't help her. Well, I don't know why it's a big deal. Smoking doesn't help her race.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it's still a
banned rule. If milk was banned, guess what? Don't drink it. If milk was banned, none of them motherfuckers would
to get to this level, to get to that level where the Olympics, like it's not open that you can do certain, like they do stringent testing in the Olympics. So like TSA, it's like the TSA, they were like, you can't bring nothing over 3 ounces. You can't bring nothing that got a blade bigger than a quarter millimeter of an inch. You can't bring this, that, and the other. And so when I go on a plane, I'm like, let me just make sure I don't have no doubts.
I had to throw away a knife.
I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I got a pen. I'm putting that in my check baggage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pen?
Shit, that I don't want them thinking I got a shank. They were like, man, this looks like a prison shank. Get that Negro over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want no questions when I go through. I clear everything out. I don't even want no residual weed in my bags. I don't want nothing. I get it all out. I make sure it's no questions. Same thing should be said when you are trying to go for the pinnacle of your sport in the Olympics. Don't leave no questions, no doubts, whether it's a supplement, whether it's a steroid or HGH or something that is an enhancer, or it's fucking one of the just recreational drugs or medications that they say you can't take, unfortunately. You know, it is bullshit, though, to many degrees.
Let me ask you this, Jared. Did she have handlers? Was there handlers during her? I'm pretty sure.
She goes to LSU, Louisiana, the South. You know, weed is still not very acceptable out there. You're doing things where you're going out into the world and you're doing, you know, things that are part of a structure and a system, the recognized forms of competition or the recognized forms of business historically has not looked well on weed. So regardless of which, you should already know, don't fuck up your chances. Now, I'm not really even want to go on that. I just want to go on the fact that she got the pub, she blew up, she was viral for winning and being like, you know what I'm saying, unabashed and brash. And that's what people fell in love with. Fine and fair. My thing for her was after you just got smoked, this is where you come down a little bit and you have self-reflection. Like, yes, be confident in yourself. But part of it is, I think, having the confidence is not about you saying it to other people. Having the confidence is that you go out and you put in the work and you do it, right? Like, I'm not going to go out there after I get whooped up and be like, nah, I'm still better than everyone. Or I'm still good. I ain't tripping. Ain't nobody going to stop me from doing this. I'm like, well, actually, the people that keep beating you will stop you from being relevant if you don't get your shit together. Like, if you don't win, you will have been a blip on the radar. I'm just going to let you know that right now. Like, I saw a lot of people like, you calling her out now? Y'all are the real haters. I'm not saying nothing negative about her. I'm like, you don't got to say nothing negative about her, but you can call it what it is. It's not about her as much as this is a situation where an individual with this, you know what I'm saying, potential or this background and this whatever, and they about to fuck it up.
Yeah, I gotta say nothing negative about it. She do it all herself.
Well, I hope she don't fuck it up, but she's not making things easier. This past week, Allison Felix was on, was it Jimmy Kimmel show, Aaron? Or,
yeah, and it was one of those late night Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy
She was on a late
Fallon,
night
one of
show.
those
Allison Phoenix, one of my boo things, you know what I'm saying? I could eat her up. I'll take 36 minutes off of my life, huh? Would you, Pedro?
I actually like when she showed her a cesarean scar and made it more sexy, more appealing, because at least I know she fucking.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Draymond Green and Kevin Durant did a wonderful interview together. We missed that. That happened last week or whatnot. But Draymond Green sat down for an hour and interviewed Kevin Durant about his departure from the Warriors, amongst other things. And they blamed Draymond Green's suspension was handled by the team. The internal suspension, when they had an argument after a game, Bob Myers and Steve Kerr tried to make Draymond Green take full responsibility and apologize to Kevin Durant. They told him he literally had to apologize. Draymond Green wasn't having that. Kevin Durant also thought it was a poor way to manage the team and that him and Draymond had to have a man-to-man conversation that would have fixed it. The team should have stepped up and fixed it, not management trying to tell them how to behave and fix a situation between players. What do you guys think about that?
I like how you just spun it, how your introduction. You spun your introduction to take it off both of those fools, dude.
What? I didn't.
Your introduction.
No, I wasn't. It's not pro there friendly. It's open for interpretation.
But you were spinning it. You spun it. Your tone spun it, Jarrett.
You sound like MSNBC, Jarrett.
You know what? You was leading that. You was leading that just as much as Draymond Green was leading that shit, dude.
All right. The niggas had
not come neutral with that.
What do you guys think about that?
What do you think about? You know what? It was a well done interview. Draymond Green showed that he might have a job, and I don't think everyone's like, oh man, he'll be great with Charles and him. I don't think he's great because he's not as quick with it like Charles and Shaq. Shaq gets a little boring at times on it, but Shaq is like that he's like the Ashton Kutcher from that 70s show. He's that physical comedian on it, right? He's funny sometimes, but he's willing to cut his hair and do stupid stuff. And Charles is more like the quick-witted guy. He's real quick-wit. He can say funny things on purpose and accidentally. And so, but Draymond Green does have a future maybe doing some kind of show. He's better than Kevin Garnett. I mean, his questions were on point, this and that. But my thing was they did this to clear Draymond Green's name. He had this to clear his name. That was the whole point of this. He wanted Kevin to say it wasn't Draymond Green's fault. That's what this whole interview was about. This is why mutual journalists are needed. Right?
How you gonna say this is why we ain't got no black leaders?
No, man, because I don't believe we don't have black leaders. I believe we do have black leaders. But this is why neutral journalists are needed, because of reasons like this. Dude, he steered the whole thing to clear his name. Look, let's face it, let's be real. Kevin Garnett was already leaving. I know as a Warrior fan, Jared, in your heart and everybody else. Well, remember, the minute he signed, I said he's only here for this contract. I told everybody that, and they're like, "No, man, he's gonna stay, and more people gonna come with him." Oh, they are. He was leaving, dude. He came there to get a ring, so he could get that monkey off his back. He thought it was gonna make him feel better. It didn't. And I mean, Steve Kerr said it best. He said, "Look, he was so unhappy after that first year." He's like, you could tell in the second year. This incident happened in the third year, the beginning of the third year. Steve Kerr said it right after, when he interviewed with Bill Simmons right after that. He goes, I get why the fan. I told you, I got a lot of respect for Steve Kerr. Still don't think he's the greatest of coaches that he gets a little hyped up to be, but I got a lot of respect for him because he came out with the truth on the Bill Simmons podcast. And he goes, I totally understand why the average NBA fan was mad when we got Kevin Garnett, and they should have been. He said they should have been. And I understand, right? Wasn't anything against the rule.
This magic moment.
Calling that nigga the big ticket. His name is not Kevin Garnett. That's the second time in a row you've done called him Kevin Garnett.
No, well, I meant it when I said Draymond Green would be better than Kevin Garnett. I'm talking about Kevin Garnett's on TNT.
You said Kevin Garnett 3 times now. 2 of the times you was calling Kevin Garnett.
You just did this to on my flow because you being a Warrior fan don't want to hear what I gotta say.
You look like that player hater who sold me this shit. Give me my damn money back right now, and I don't have no damn receipt.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're looking like right now, Jared, because you're ruining my flow on purpose. But I mean, Steve Kerr said it best that KD wanted to leave. You could tell. He was like, he came here in search of happiness. He came to us because he liked how we played. He liked this. He knew it would be a good chance to win a ring, but he couldn't get the happiness he wanted. It was always Steve. Even though he's the best player, he was the best player on the court. It was always Seth Curry's team. They won without him. This magic moment. Steph Curry team.
You can't talk good basketball if you keep naming other niggas that exist.
Right. It was always Steph's team, and he knew it. And even though he was the baller, even though he was the reason they won, it still was never going to be his team. The ring did not make him happy because everyone held it over his head that, dude, this team won 73 games without you. Yes, you are the man. You're balling. You dominated. You won 2 Finals MVP. But why did you have to leave to come here? And so it was Draymond's time to clear his name. He wanted everyone to say that fight wasn't the reason he was leaving. Of course, it wasn't the reason he was leaving already. That's the reason he didn't re-up. He was leaving no matter what. Colin Coward tried to say, no, Kevin Durant left because he got hurt. No, he didn't leave because he got hurt and they lost the title. He was leaving. Steve Kerr even said he was leaving. Like, he bought in that first year. It was like, man, he was excellent to coach. He bought in. He was a fun to have around. Even Bill Simmons said, because they had a podcast together, him and Kevin Durant. And he said that second year, it was different. He was angrier. He was sour. He was not happy to be on. He was just not happy.
Yeah.
Even though, so here they are being successful for 2 more years, but he was unhappy. And I think that's part of it. And and the problem with that was that thing was so orchestrated to make them look, to make it, you know, it's like, I don't know if Draymond Green feeling like, not magic moment, that's me catching my word. I don't know if Draymond Green felt like he was, he's been getting blamed for Kevin Durant leaving. I don't know, Jared, you being a Warrior fan, you let me know about that. Because I try not to talk Kevin Durant with people out here because it's still a sour subject.
You know,
for some people.
I think that was a big thing that was kind of like, you know, people were like, man, we think it had to do with that, and that the locker room environment was, you know, not what it was before, and that argument was a culmination of a lot of that had been building up, and a symbol for that. I think KD just is never, like you said it, Aaron, before, he's not going to fill that void of happiness. Part of that might be I think part of that might be him as a competitor. Like, he's all like, he needs another challenge. He wants to prove.
He likes playing basketball. You know what makes him happy is playing basketball.
Yeah, but
the problem was he started listening to everybody else, and especially NBA fans, who all sit here and say, you need a championship to define your career. You don't. Yes, you play for the wins. As fans, we want our teams to win, but it's so untrue.
No, I think that was probably his first misconception. But I think just as a competitor, I think he plays basketball as like something he loves and enjoys doing.
He loves,
but with the expectations of what he expects from himself or people expect of him, like, he's never going to be able to, like, unless he's Jordan, unless he wins more titles than the other greats.
Why Jordan? Why Jordan? Why we always say Jordan?
I just said Jordan.
Way more titles
I just say Jordan because Jordan was one of the people that influenced him, is regarded as the greatest, right? Bill Russell, people don't. It's different. Like, I'm just speaking in the cultural sense of, like,
I know. I just wanted to bring that up because everyone always for some reason Jordan got the most titles.
But then our last 2 greatest generational superstars have been chasing Jordan, and that's been the narrative. One of them was the next Jordan, wanted to be the next Jordan. The other one is, you know, it was like, I'm not Jordan, but I'm chasing Jordan, LeBron and Kobe. So I don't think he's ever going to find the happiness, like we said in the past. Like, his happiness will be derived from just like him being a happy person outside of basketball. But basketball, like, just like work, like, you can love your work, but also, like, it's not always gonna make you happy, and it's not gonna be the thing that makes you happiest out of this world. There's other things in this world that are greater, that are gonna bring you that joy and happiness. Yeah, they're gonna something else in this world will bring you that joy and happiness. So,
but you know what? We're skipping over the fact that they blanked Bob Myers.
That's what I was saying. It's like that's where, like, they were like, man, the team. That's where the team has to have a meeting. Everyone needs to, like, air their shit out. You and me needed to have that one-on-one. But they were trying to they were trying to suspend you for that instead of letting us work it out ourselves. And then Draymond was like, I laughed in their face when they told me I had to apologize.
That, you know what the problem with that is, Jared? They were trying to keep that team together. They were in the middle of all that unhappiness. They were trying to keep that. It's Bob Myers' job, it's Steve Kerr's job to keep that team together.
And like
Steve Kerr said, it was fucked up going into that, right? And maybe they overreacted by suspending them and trying to get him to apologize. They suspended him because he wouldn't apologize, right? That was the reason he got suspended. It was one fucking game. And don't forget, what month was it? December or November? It was early on. It was early on. They knew that the team was, they were trying to keep things copacetic.
That was okay. You know, when they talked about, well, I'm saying it's okay. It's not okay. They shouldn't have suspended him. That was a mistake that they made when they was talking about it. I agree with Draymond and Kevin Durant on that or whatever. Personally, sometimes I just don't think they like Draymond's mouth. And that's where it got kind of like personal. Like Aaron said, they was trying to keep getting the team together. The other team, they just
he's
didn't.
a smart basketball player, but he lets his emotions get ahead of him. And especially when it comes to blurring out what's on his mind.
You know, it was an interesting conversation in that moment where that's where KD essentially said that's when he knew he was leaving. Is because like that team wasn't going to make him happy. That team wasn't the team that he needed it to be. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's not lying. I'm just saying
I know that.
This is what he like. That's what I took from it. Is that when he said that in the interview, it's like, oh, so there was a chance you would have stayed if the team had come together and, you know, saying bonded and learned how to like, you know, saying
it didn't come together because he was leaving. That's the reason Draymond said what he said, because he was leaving. Let's stop bullshitting ourselves. That's the reason Draymond said it, because everybody knew he was leaving.
Okay, so then Draymond should just be like, hey, man, we all knew you was leaving, bro. We knew you wasn't
because
happy.
Draymond is not being impartial right now. This is what I said. This is the reason why everyone wants to shit on journalists now. And they're like, oh, let's create the players forum. Let's create this thing. And Derek Jeter coming out, whatever that shit is. And everybody's saying, let's do this where we can have our own sounding board. There's a reason why those guys are there, right? Because they're impartial. Sometimes they're not, like Skip Bayless, but there are a lot of people who are impartial that ask the question and really wants to get to the only thing they really want to get to is the truth of why they asked that. Draymond was not trying to get the truth. He was trying to clear his name. They're trying to make it sound a certain way. He knows. He said what he said because his exact words were, well, go ahead and fucking leave them, bitch, right? He told him to leave. We know he was leaving. He was not going to stay. There was nothing that was going to make him stay. I know every Warrior fan loves hearing that. They all talked themselves into believing when he signed that this was the start of everybody signing here because of Silicon Valley. I'm like, dude, you could do that Silicon Valley shit somewhere else. It's funny because Silicon Valley seems to be moving to Silicon, Texas. Dude, that's not the reason. And look, and I'm not saying this as a hater or as a Laker fan. I'm saying it as honest to God truth, right? Some people, you're going to get some free agents that want to be here or like the situation or like the culture or want to play with Steph, want to play with Clay. You're going to get some good free agents. That doesn't mean they were going to fall in love here and live here. And that's no offense to the Bay Area. I live here. I've been here for 20 plus years. I like it. I'm just saying that in every Warrior fan, it was the dream when you signed Kevin Garnett and they saw this shit playing out for 10 years and thought we have a new Lakers Magic Johnson dynasty for 10 years, right? Where we got this core team that's going to stay here and not leave for 10 years. And it wasn't true. He was renting space to get rings, so he didn't have to be put in the same category as these guys who didn't get rings.
No, you're talking about they didn't tell the truth. They did tell the truth. Kevin Durant is a bitch. So Draymond Green wasn't lying.
I said he didn't tell the truth in that interview.
The best talent, he's the, oh yeah, he did. He said, I called you a bitch, but you was leaving anyways, right?
No, that wasn't an interview. That was on the court. The problem is in a lot of Warriors fans that if that didn't happen, he would stay. No, that happened because he wasn't staying, and everybody knew it. Everybody close there knew it. All the coaches knew it. They all knew it. That was part of Bob Myers and Steve Kerr did what they did because they were still trying to please Garnett in hopes that he would stay, but they knew he was gone.
This magic moment.
I gave you a freebie, Aaron. You said Kevin Garnett one other time, and then you just called him by his last name right there. We can't let that one slide.
All right, Kevin Durant, dude. This is my question for you, Jared. Do you think Draymond did that to get traded or not? Or he just saying he just got diarrhea of the mouth?
Draymond's trying to get traded?
In this interview, I'm just asking. The latest phenomenon in the NBA is whenever we have an Olympic team, it seems to be somebody comes together. I mean, that's what brought Kevin Garnett to Draymond and them. He played on the Olympic team with Clay and Draymond. Kevin Durant. Sorry. That's what brought KD. Let me just keep saying KD there. That's what brought KD to the Warriors. God damn it.
There's another person you always do that with. I can't remember the name right now.
Russell Wilson and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, you always call
And let me tell you, you think I do a lot on the show? Duck hates it when we talk football and Russell or fantasy and Russell Wilson comes up. He's like, man, and there's two people. There's also Justin Turner and Jeff Turner.
Okay, yes.
He hates that too. KD, one of the reasons he came to Warriors, don't forget, wasn't it just that summer before where he played on the Olympic team with Draymond and Clay, right? And so think about all these teams. What made LeBron go to Miami? He just played Olympics with who? Wade and Bosh.
Oh, Wade and Bosh. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And that was the same year of free agency. He played the Olympics, and then it's free agency time, and he signs. And they all get together and say, "Let's go do this in Miami." This has been a phenomenon lately. I mean, Kyrie and Durant. Durant was because of
Garnett, Pierce, and Allen all play on the 08 team.
It could have been. It could have been. I'm telling you, there's a phenomenon now that the Olympic team, when these guys are together, especially because don't forget, these guys, a lot of these guys didn't go to college. Think about everybody we're naming, or they were there for like 1 year or none at all. Durant was 1 year. LeBron was none at all. Bosh was 1 year. Kyrie was 1 year and didn't even travel because he was hurt 80% of the season. So a lot of these guys, when they get to the Olympics, Garnett never went to college. This is like their college moment. You know that bonding that happens when you're in college here, right? Jonah Hill just came out and said that he said he feels like he's behind as an adult compared to his friends that went to college. And this doesn't mean you need college to become an adult. No way at all. He said he was, because he was up in Hollywood while his friends went to college and they had this growing experience that he didn't get in Hollywood. All he was doing was just partying and then going to sets. And so for these guys, I think they go off to the Olympics and this is their first experience with that. So they're having a good time. They're away from their families. They're in these hotels together. They're traveling to play different teams. They go off to the Olympics. They're in the Olympic Village or on that boat like they were at one time in Brazil. They're on that boat and they talk and they're hanging out and they're spending most of their time with each other and they're developing these friendships and they're like, hey, let's get together and play. So I don't know. Do you think that happened with Draymond Green and Damian Lillard this year? Is Draymond Green threw the coach and the general manager on the bus to try to work something out in case he comes back this season and he ain't liking it? He can try to go to the Portland. I don't know. You tell me.
Maybe. I don't know. I think he likes playing with Steph and Clay too much, where he could be like, I can go prove that I can elevate another player's game by being on the team, and
he would fit perfect there.
How valuable
he would fit perfect there. That's like the only place he could go and fit perfect. I can't see him going to any other team other than maybe
he would fit well there. He would fit well there, but the issue is he's going to be taking on even more of the defensive responsibility with two undersized guards trying to play bad defense on the perimeter. And
he is, because he doesn't have great defense.
He's already undersized. Yeah, he's already undersized. Like that offensively, he would be able to help them facilitate.
But the team is built kind of like that the strength in numbers team. They got some big bodies up front.
Well, no. They had a couple big bodies up front, but they also had good perimeter length. Steph Curry was their smallest player.
They had good perimeter
but you had
off the
Klay
bench.
Thompson, who was 6'6", 6'7", and is a good defensive player.
Klay Thompson was 6'6".
And then you had Harrison Barnes, who was 6'8".
The difference was Harrison Barnes, Andre Iguodala, and Sean Livingston. That was
all those guys were long on the perimeter. They don't have
they had bodies in length.
They don't have.
They got Rodney Hood, and they just signed Gary Trent.
And they had had high basketball IQ guys who knew how to space the floor properly and knew when to cut to create openings for the guys that were the shooters to get openings on the floor. It's not the same.
I agree.
That's why the Warriors teams were so unique and so cool to watch that evolution, because they did something.
I mean, the first two teams. We only had that for two teams.
Yeah. But watching them evolve into the championship caliber team they became was super neat, because it was these players that are only here at this time. And they're here together and they're making something special happen. And that's what a lot of teams are. Some teams are manufactured more so, but that's what a lot of teams are. And that's what's the cool part about the sport, is that
they manufactured themselves to a dynasty. We didn't get a chance to see the true dynasty.
They manufactured a dynasty, but they, organically created one title.
I'm going to say this. The KD thing, I felt cheated there. That's the reason why I'm so passionate.
Yeah, we know that. We know.
I felt cheated. Let me tell you this. I'm a Laker fan, but I'm an NBA fan even more. I'm a fan of basketball. I like college basketball. I can sit there. I'm not one of those people that can sit there and watch basketball played at the park and see some weak fools play, unless it's in New York and I'm seeing fools in sweaters, back in New York, right? The KD thing going to the Warriors just cheated me out of some great finals. I could have went either way. It cheated me out of the Warriors, seeing the Warriors as a dynasty that was a pure dynasty that we don't get anymore. There's people around us like, man, I still hate what LeBron did with the decision. But they, like Skip Bayless is one of those people. He still talks to this day about how much he hates the decision with LeBron, but how he doesn't hate the Kevin Garnett going. And they were both free agents. They both did nothing wrong. right? But I was like, the KD thing, I was like, this is a team already in the finals, man. Now it just made it made it hard to watch basketball.
This magic moment.
Yeah, nigga.
Man, I don't recall saying Garnett that last sentence. I think you lying on that one. I'm gonna have to listen to the show because I think you lying. Everybody out there, join Patreon and put in the comments that Jarrett lying about how many times I said Garnett.
Cutty Corner shout-outs. Cutty Corner shout-outs. Cutty Corner shout-outs is the same way on the show on where everyone gets the floor to rant, complain, or highlight something that is pissing them off or that is a positive. Cutty Corner shout-outs. Cutty Corner shout-outs.
It's we're burning now. God, if you let it in, hell, so cold and bleeding now. I'm in for this, man. Gonna let you down. He had sex with my mama. We're broken people now. Like I said, I need a
Aaron, do you have a Cutty Corner shout out?
Yeah, my Cutty Corner shout out this week goes out to the NFL preseason, but mostly Yahoo Sports. NFL did something different this year. They have broadcast every preseason game. A lot of people don't know there's less preseason games than there were before. So I figured for them to try to make some more money off of it, they were like, instead of just having it where it was on local TV in this, they have broadcast every preseason game. This is the first year they ever did that. Now, the reason why I'm giving a Cutty Corner shout out to it is because I got 5 push notifications this morning for the Dolphins versus the Bengals. 5 push notifications. Watch it on Yahoo. Watch it on Yahoo Sports app. And every one of them kept saying Tua versus Burrow. Tua versus Burrow. Watch now. Watch as the 2 young quarterbacks come back. And I'm figuring, you know what? Now we only got 3 preseason games. You know, I don't know how the preseason looked like when it was 4. We always knew the 3rd preseason game was when all the starters played, right? They played 3 quarters. They always played 3 quarters, 2.5 quarters. That was it. But you got to see what the team would really look like. You could really kind of tell depth charts and things like that, or who was fighting for depth charts by the 3rd preseason game. So I, who haven't watched a preseason game all year, decided, okay, I'm going to watch this one. Game starts off. All of a sudden, I look on the sideline. Your boy Tua got a headset on and a T-shirt and sweats to start the game. They had their 3rd string quarterback playing. They didn't even play the 2nd string. They said the 3rd string was going to play the whole game so they could get a good look at him. Well, at least I get to see Joe Burrow, right? I mean, they had no other starters on the field, Miami. So they punt. Cincinnati get the ball. Joe Burrow steps up. As he's walking to the huddle, the announcer says, oh, yeah, we talked to the coach, Zach, whatever his name is, and he said that Joe Burrow is going to play 3 snaps. Not 4, not 3, not 3 drives, not 3 minutes, 3 snaps.
Mm-hmm.
First play was a handoff to a wide receiver in motion. Didn't gain a yard. So I'm like, okay, obviously they got to pass 2nd down because on the 3rd down, the defense is going to blitz, right? So they got to pass on 2nd down because they don't know what's going to happen. So I'm like, it's going to be some kind of jailbreak screen. And that's exactly what they ran. The player caught it, got the ball knocked out his hand. The Dolphins picked it up way down the field. They called incomplete pass. It was a fumble. It was a fumble.
No,
right?
No, it wasn't. It was incomplete.
You saw that
he
play?
never caught it. Yeah.
Oh, he never caught it?
Your boy actually he's been having a rough preseason. You know, that was his number.
Fumbling, right?
No, he's been dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase was dropping the ball all preseason.
Well, he dropped that one then. That was a gimme too. So that meant Joe Burrow had one more play after they, replayed and saw that it wasn't a fumble. They had one more. Joe Burrow had one more play. And what was it, Pedro?
I missed that part. I did.
Oh, it was a shitty ass handoff straight off a tackle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that.
So
I didn't see
it. Here's the crazy thing. So one of them was a penalty, right? So that was only 2nd down. It should have been 3rd, but that was only 2nd down. And so there was a 3rd down. So Joe Burrow, he already did his 3 snaps and it was 3rd down. They pulled him. They pulled him on 3rd down. He had 3 snaps. An end around handoff, a regular handoff, and a jailbreak screen. They got the nerves to send me 5 push notifications for that crap. I just got a push notification now that said, watch Baker Mayfield versus Michael Pitts. I don't know how. Now, it's already hard for a quarterback to go against another quarterback, but I had never heard a quarterback go against a tight end. And I'll be honest, at least they both playing. And I got to see Michael Pitts.
And they both balling, by the way.
Smooth. That's all I was saying. They both actually balling. Pitts look good. Now Atlanta got to go out and get him a quarterback.
So my Cutty Corner shout out goes out to Jarrett. We're just picking subjects that he wants to talk about on the show without running it by us first. I'm losing my mind. My diabetes is starting to catch up again because I'm not getting regular exercise, or my medicine's messing with me because of the COVID-19 vaccine. Ever since I took that COVID-19 vaccine, my medicine has having a reaction to where I forget things. I misspeak like Magic Johnson. This magic moment. With some other things that I do.
His arm transforms now.
My arm lit up. There's keys sticking to me. I can't take my keys out of my pocket because they're sticking to my body because of all the metal that's in my system now. I keep wanting to do heroin besides my insulin. It makes me loosely look at women in grocery stores. I went to Walmart looking at women, and I was running away from my wife so I can look at more women. That's all from the vaccine. I'm DMing a lot of girls because of this vaccine. Shoot, I'm drinking more. Definitely it's affecting my memory. So before you take the COVID-19 vaccine, make sure you check with your doctor, see what your doctor says. I had a doctor online tell me that they have antibodies in that shot that cause you to cheat on your wife. So I don't know who's the next victim, but somebody's in my future. And I can't control it. It's the vaccine. It's not me. I'm just trying to be healthy for everybody else. I took the vaccine and it's got me not being honest with my family, and it's also got me cheating on my wife.
My Cutty Corner shout out goes out to fire season. We're back at that time of the year again. It is fire season. And I had a similar Cutty Corner shout out a couple years ago, but fire season. The fires up near Tahoe are happening, threatening the cabin, Todd's family's cabin, so keeping hope that doesn't burn down, but there's a lot of other, places.
Once again, vaccine related.
The vaccine is causing the fires to go crazy. So yeah, it's terrible. And it's taking all the luster away from the beautiful, crisp, fall-like mornings that I should be able to think about a beautiful white woman sipping some pumpkin spice, because it is pumpkin spice season, my friends, and it's starting early, just like the fire season. But the fire season is not even allowing me to recognize it, and I'm really disappointed because I should see, beautiful white women dressed in, modest attire with knitted beanies and fingerless gloves. But instead, I see them wearing short shorts and skirts, which I'm not mad at. But
they wearing less clothing.
They dressed in that. They dressed in that because it's so goddamn hot and humid. Anyways, prayers out to all the people affected by the fires, and hopefully, the new norm is fires start in the end of summer and they go until November, sometime in November. So hopefully this circumstance begins to change, because California, I don't think, can manage another couple of years of this kind of fire season. And I know our asthmatics and other people with respiratory problems definitely can't. And especially with the Rona, we got to fix this problem. Well, that is our show, my friends. That is our show. Any final words y'all have?
Just to let people know, I'm not against NBA preseason. Unlike the basketball summer league, a lot of these fools do make teams. They're actually practicing to make the team. They might not see the positions they're going out for. They might only be special teams. They might only see 5 plays a game in the beginning unless someone get hurt. At least they play. Unlike the NBA summer league, which is just crap that no matter how well they perform, certain teams they not make.
All right. Pedro, got anything?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody is vaccinated. The numbers, everything I say on the show is a joke. Do not take me seriously. Numbers are going up in Arizona. Everybody's out here just acting like there's nothing, like everything's still normal. Personally, I know of people getting put in body bags because of this COVID situation. Make sure that you do everything to be safe. Stop following your friends on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, talking about they know a holistic medicine guy, and he used to be a doctor and all that stuff. No, get vaccinated, because you don't want to be in that body bag and leave your family out here just without some support. So make sure you guys get vaccinated, get healthy. I prefer the Pfizer. FDA approved it, so go get the Pfizer shot. Do not go out like Aaron and get the Johnson & Jenkins shot.
I think Johnson & Jenkins.
Come on. All right, yeah, get that J&J. Well, that is our show. Stay healthy, stay positive, stay blessed, and let's get through this. Stop bullshitting, and we will leave you with this.
Please wear your mask. Wear your mask. It is very important for you to put on that mask. This not no joke, and this is not no rundown. Wear your mask. If you vaccinated or not, throw on that mask and stop lying, telling people you vaccinated and you know dang on well you ain't vaccinated. You up here trying to get people sick. Stop lying, saints.
I was wondering what my hair looks like right now, and now I see. You know how you always got this, you look at your hair and you still kind of see it, like every man does this that got hair. You look at your hair and you see it as if it was 5 years ago, right? even though 5 years has passed and the line has gone back and the cowlicks has gotten bigger, I still, for some reason, every time I look in the mirror, like, oh, this ain't that bad, right? This guy just showed me it's bad. I'm gonna tell you this, I got one more year before I cut my hair bald again. I'm gonna lose weight. I just want to lose weight with my hair big, and then I'll cut it off. You know what? I ain't got nothing wrong with it. He said he's just country. He country.
I said I agree with everything he said.
He reminded me of Aaron when he said this part.
It is very important. This magic moment.
That's what I was about to say.
Come on, man. Come on.
That is on the album.
I actually like Outkast. Saw him perform twice in person. But you know what? I really like Outkast, but they weren't one of my favorites. I don't find myself going back to listen to it as much. I don't know why. For some reason, I just don't go back.
Like a lot of these musics play to eras, and the era and the energy, and kind of like we are living part of the evolution of mankind, or the Negro Black experience, you know what I'm saying? And so everything grows and evolves, and so some things are a part of the story and the part of the foundation, but they're not something that you bring back around often. Now Sam Cooke, on the other hand, you know what I'm saying, you listen.
Well, there is some music that there's some music that don't, it's era defined, right?
It don't transcend, and I think that there is a uniqueness in expression and art and culture within the human capacity that transcends generations.
I'll give you an example of that was good, that didn't transcend. Like, you can still listen to it and be like, oh, that was a cool song. You kind of take you back nostalgic sake, but it's not like one that you put on a playlist for, like Camp Low.
Yeah.
Like they were like that. They were like that. In that time, it was great, but I can't go back and.
They didn't have too many hits. They were more on the underground scene, and they just brought out those two songs, Everybody Lucchini.
Lucchini, really baby.
Yep. Lucchini gave a lot of people diabetes. That song. They were sipping so much amaretto. Camp Low gotta be dead. They gotta be dead, or both of them gotta be missing a foot or something, because they were sipping too much amaretto.
You know, another time period one is like, you know what I'm saying, you know, the boy bands, like the people, all those beautiful white women will pop back on. You know what I'm saying? And that was, you know, that serves as, I ain't gonna listen to that stuff now, but I used to, because that was where I was introduced to the luscious nectar of beautiful, milky white women in high school. And they loved it, so I loved it.
I had no idea what the hell you talking about.
Man,
Boy bands? I was too old then.
Man, you go over to a beautiful white woman in high school and you start singing and you know, saying, repeating some of them lyrics, Justin Timberlake and Howie and all the Ryan, that nigga Joe, I know, but that camel toe.
Come on. Come on.
I'm telling you. Anyways, well, shout out to Oatkasts sponsorship. Come on our show.